40 a.m. and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Good morning. 9:06, Thursday, Knife and Fork Radio Show with your esteemed hosts, Mike and Eric. We are back. We're bigger, badder than ever with another week of riveting content that you can or can't live without because we don't care. Riveting content. We don't care if you can live with it. We don't care if you can live without it, but we're going to give it to you. Because that's how we roll in the Knife and Fork Radio Show.
That's how we do it.
That's how we roll.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all there is to it. Hopefully everyone had a great week since we spoke to you last. Phone lines are open, 727-441-3000. Give us a call if you want to chat, if you want to talk about anything in particular, if you want to talk about your experience at the restaurants, or if you want to talk about, your experience in life. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
We're pretty much psychologists, Mike and I.
Yeah,
we're not accredited, and we don't really have degrees or anything fancy like that, like they say you're supposed to. But I'll tell you what.
I graduated from Scooby-Doo University.
Really? How'd that work out for you?
I got to ride in a mystery machine.
I love it, man.
Was great.
Shaggy in there?
Oh, of course.
Was Shaggy high all the time, or was it just me?
I mean, I got a contact high just from being in there. So, yeah, obviously.
I'll tell you what, man. Shaggy was absolutely high 100% of the time, man.
I mean, because I think he was the only one that could hear the dog talk.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone else could.
No. I think he like deciphered everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that means there's trouble. We got to go.
That means we got to go, dude.
Wait a second. Apparently, I can figure this out, too.
There's a ghost.
That was a great show, though, man. I loved it, man. Scooby-Doo was the best. These kids nowadays, man, with their whatever it is that they watch, they have no idea what the good shows are
Paw Patrol is nothing on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, man. Scooby was the best, man. Yeah. And it would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those kids and that scrappy dog.
Those meddling kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good time. That was great.
They wanted to use a better adjective, but it was PG-13.
Of course. Yeah. Well, if it was on Netflix nowadays, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm watching that show, Criminal Minds on Netflix. Have you heard of that?
I have seen. I used to watch it when it first came out, and I saw like the first 7 seasons.
Oh, it's terrible. It is literally one of the worst shows ever.
It is horrible.
I put it on when I go to bed at night so that I can get so bored out of my mind that I can just fall asleep and not have to fight it.
You know what is awesome, though?
What's
if
that?
You put on at night to go to sleep.
Which one?
It's called Joe Kenda, True Detective.
Oh, that's a good one. That's on the ID network. Yeah, that's a good one.
Joe Kenda's the man.
Yeah, he is, man. He figures it out, man.
Listen, he has a 92% solve rate, right? So he solved 92% of his crimes before there was even any technology.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So they had a cold case of his that came up, and he was so happy that it went down to 7.5%.
Really?
Really, and they solved it.
Joe Kenda.
And he's
the man, the myth, and the legend. He is a G.
Yeah,
he's tough, man. I've watched a couple of episodes of him.
Yeah,
and it's a good show.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. But I'll tell you what, it's not as good as the most amazing show in the history of television right now, and you know what I'm talking about. Chimp Crazy.
Oh, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch it this week.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
I was on the East Coast.
Oh my God, I'm not even going to talk about it.
Well, you can talk about it if you want. I don't care. I'm going to go home and watch it anyway.
It is, when you watch this, for all of y'all that are out there listening right now that have been watching Chimp Crazy, and I highly suggest that all of you that are listening right now, if you haven't started it, start it immediately, because the show is just insanity. It's brought to you by the same people that made the Tiger King, so you know it's going to be good.
Right.
And this last week's episode, the stuff that they talk about and just the craziness in the chimpanzee world / owner, I don't know what they're called, the people that house these chimpanzees. It's nuts, man. This episode really breaks loose.
So my question to you is, not to be any spoiler or anything, but did they ever realize that she's got the damn chimp in her basement?
Okay, so they don't necessarily. PETA doesn't realize that she has a chimp in the basement
because it doesn't go. I mean, it's not posted immediately.
Right, because this was filmed, a few years ago. But during the episode, PETA doesn't realize that the chimp is in the basement. But you have to watch the last 30 seconds of the show, and that's when the light bulb goes off in PETA's head and says, "Oh my God,
She's got the chimp.
She's got the chimp. They realize it towards the last 30 seconds of the episode.
Wow. And because, she's like, oh, well, I named another one of my pets, Tonka.
Exactly. It's crazy. This last episode, I'm not going to give anything away. I want no spoilers on this radio show. But I'm going to tell you what, guys, just do yourself a favor. If you haven't started watching Chimp Crazy, just start it. There's only one episode left. I don't know.
There's only 4 episodes?
Yeah, that's it, man. There's only one episode left. So
she must have got arrested.
The one that airs on Sunday is the last one.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after that.
I'm jilted at that.
Yeah, because I think Tiger King was 10 episodes or something.
It
lasted a little while.
Yeah, and they had less teeth and
and a lot more meth.
Yeah. So
there's no meth involved with this on Chimp Crazy, but there probably could be. They just don't talk about it.
Probably OxyContin.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, I think they're in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
the Missouri monkey tranquilizer.
That's a real thing, everybody.
That's MMT.
Yeah. The Missouri monkey tranquilizer. So anyway, just do it,
crazy.
folks. Watch it. You will not be disappointed. But how was your week, Mike, since we spoke to you last? I got a little bit crazy. I started to get a little out of control with Chimp Crazy because I wanted to talk about it, and I forgot to do an intro and lead into your week, man. How's everything going?
Oh, man, we went to the East Coast, went to the beach, went to see my mom, my stepfather. He just got his knee replaced after 6 months ago getting his hip replaced.
Oh, wow. So he's going through it, huh?
Yeah, now he has to get the other hip and the other knee.
Is he using a walker?
He's not using a walker currently, but in the beginning he was.
He had to, yeah.
But he was pretty close to being an Olympic track star.
Yeah.
So his knees and his hips are destroyed.
Okay,
you know
they're beat up.
And he's in his 60s, you know? Yeah. So he's just rehabbing that.
He's a good guy, man. Ron, I've met him a few times. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So believe it or not, man, it rained in the morning on the day we were going to go to the beach.
Of course,
we're like, oh no, we're not going to go to the beach. And I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. It's probably not raining over there.
Yeah.
So we get over there, and it was raining a little bit. So I said, let's go a little further south. So we found a little place a little further south. It wasn't raining.
Nice.
80 degrees.
Really?
Water was cool.
Can't beat it, man.
It was awesome.
This time of the year, you cannot beat that kind of weather because it is hot, muggy, humid. It is disgusting out there.
I was able to take a nap on the beach.
On the beach.
And without sweating and waking me up.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. Sounds like a great time.
Had a bunch of grits. Had a bunch of spaghetti and pizza.
I love grits, man. Yeah. We'll go to First Watch every once in a while over there off of 19. They're everywhere, but the one we go to is on 19 and Alderman. And I got to tell you, man, they've got these cheddar grits. What do they call them? Steel cut, whatever the hell that means. Yeah. And they're so goddamn good, man. I love grits. It's a Southern thing. Y'all from the North, you don't understand it.
You won't understand it.
But once you try it, you guys, I think in the North, cream of wheat is a thing. So it's
for sure.
Cream of wheat's a Northern thing. And in the South, we enjoy the company of a good grit. Yeah,
and I think it's also called farina if it's cream of wheat with a little sugar and a couple other things, and it's a Spanish thing.
Never had it before.
Yeah, it's basically cream of wheat all jazzed up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's probably good.
Yeah, my daughter loves it, so.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice.
Well, but other than that,
that's it. Good week.
No big deal.
Good week. All right, cool. Yeah, me too, man. Just kind of did the damn thing all week long. Just working. Trying to pay the bills. Yeah,
that's all we're doing here.
Nothing out of the ordinary. But I'll tell you what, though, if you can figure out a way to pay the bills and get a few bucks together and go out for a nice dinner, I've got a nice top 10 list here in front of me with the top 10 places that are ranked with the best views in the Bay Area. Yeah. And the best romantic kind of dinners that you can have.
Really?
In the Bay Area. Yeah. Over in, let me see, where is this list compiled in? I want to say it's down there on Riverwalk in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. So, Riverwalk's a really cool place. They've got a lot of great places out there, Armature Works and all that stuff. So, they've got the top 10 lists of different restaurants that are available for you to go, enjoy a beautiful view, have a nice romantic getaway with your significant other, man, woman, whoever that person is that you like to enjoy the company of, and relax for a little while. So, number 10 of the list is going to be the Columbia Cafe. Columbia Restaurant. They're a staple, man. They've been an icon in the Tampa Bay area.
They have been.
Since 1905.
They have. Remember when they used to have the one on St. Pete Pier?
I do remember that.
That one was a pretty cool one.
Whatever happened with that place? It never, it just kind of went away for some reason.
It went away because they knew that they were going to tear it down.
Is that what
and then they didn't want to renew the lease because of the stature of the new one and the cost of the lease.
Gotcha. Well, apparently, Columbia Cafe has 7 different locations, including the Columbia restaurants, and they're right there on 801 Water Street down there in the Riverwalk area in Tampa. So that comes in at number 10 of the list. Coming up on number 9, Big Ray's Fish Camp and Grill on Riverwalk.
When did they put a Big Ray's Fish Camp on Riverwalk?
I don't know, man, but it's there. It's on this list, so it's got to be there. It's at 333 South Franklin Street.
What? The
Yeah,
other
man.
one is, there's
Big
another
Ray's.
one in, what I say, West Tampa?
West Tampa?
West
Yeah.
Tampa, West Shore, Southwest Shore area.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the original one, and it is awesome. But there's
Yeah.
no view or anything like
Right.
that.
Well, this one apparently has a beautiful view. You can see people sitting on the, well, you guys can't see it, what I'm looking at here on the screen, but there's people sitting on the patio. They're looking out. Looks like a nice place to go and eat. 333 South Franklin Street, Big Ray's Fish Camp and Grill on Riverwalk.
It's literally a fish camp.
It's a fish camp.
The original one.
Okay. Very cool.
So it's pretty cool.
All right, very nice. So apparently coming in at number 8 on the list, The Sale. Have you ever heard of this
No,
establishment?
I've not.
333 South Franklin Street as well. So apparently, I'm thinking that all this must be within like maybe the Armature Works area is what it kind of
It's
seems
probably
like.
just in that,
Yeah. It seems nice inside. The pictures are beautiful, dim lit. They've got
you know what? I have been past there,
Have
but
you?
I've never eaten there.
All right, cool. So there you go. So if you ever want a nice little place to go to that you've never been to before, give The Sale a try. Moving forward, number 7, Lona, Lona, 505 Water Street.
I've
Never heard of that, but apparently it's in the Tampa Marriott on Water Street. So Chef Richard Sandoval offers authentic Mexican cuisine with over 200 tequila and mezcal options. 200 tequila options.
Oh, mezcal is the jam. I will say that.
Yeah.
Love me some mezcal.
Anchor and Brine comes up next on the list. I've heard of this establishment. I've never patronized it, unfortunately, but that comes in next on the list. That's located at 505 Water Street in the same area. Coming up next, 200 North Ashley Drive is going to be River's Edge. It's located in the Hotel Tampa Riverwalk. River's Edge allows guests the choice of indoor dining room or an outdoor pool bar. That sounds like a fun little Saturday
a little pool
trek
bar
out there. You have a little pool bar, relax a little bit with the water and have a good time. This one right here is an iconic steakhouse in Tampa located at 400 North Ashley Drive, Malio's Prime Steakhouse.
Love me some Malio's.
Malio's has been around for as long as I can remember.
Me too.
They've always been there. I think they used to be on Dale Mabry, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Right?
It was right there where the Red Lobster is at.
Oh, is there a Red Lobster there now? Where Malio's used to be.
Which is about to close.
Yeah, well, Red Lobster, rest in peace. You guys are going down.
Cheddar biscuits can't save you now.
God, I love the Cheddar Bay biscuits. They're so goddamn good. Eulalie comes in next on the list. That place has made a big mark on the community for quite some time now. I'm
a thumbs down on Eulalie, man.
What's that?
I'm a thumbs down on Eulalie.
Really? What is it about them that you don't care for?
The menu is trash.
Really?
The menu, the chef, whoever that guy is.
You're kidding me.
Listen, man, they come up with the most random things that do not go together.
Is it just kind of like a garbage menu that's just kind of slapped together?
It's not garbage that's slapped together.
Such a reputation, though.
Well, I don't know how to explain it. It seems like really high-end stuff.
Right.
And then you go in there and then you get it and you're like, this is completely.
Really?
These tastes don't. Like, these ingredients don't jive.
They don't work together.
They don't work together.
No
like,
kidding.
I can be creative and come up with some crap and just throw it on a plate and make it look beautiful.
Sounds delicious.
Sounds delicious.
I'd love to try that dish.
But if it doesn't taste delicious, then what's the point?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Gouda stuffed grouper with it's like,
oh, you can't put cheese and fish together. That's a cardinal sin.
Well, first of all, you can't put Gouda in it.
Right.
I mean, you could cream cheese stuff it maybe.
Yeah, maybe something. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't go ahead and start
Gouda.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
And it's just they're too fancy.
They're too fancy.
They're too fancy for their own good.
They're trying a little bit too hard.
They're trying way too hard. And then hey chef, just get the basics down.
Tone it down a little bit.
Just get the basics down. Yeah. It's no big deal.
Listen here, you son of a bitch. I want you to reel it in a little bit because you're getting a little bit too aggressive for my liking.
Exactly.
All right.
You're spending too much money and the food cost is too high.
All right. So there you go. You heard it here first, folks, right here on the Knife and Fork Radio Show. Eulalie, not one of Mike's favorites, apparently.
But
Mike,
the view is great.
I think Mike hates Eulalie almost as much as I hate Chick-fil-A.
Pretty close.
God, I hate Chick-fil-A.
Pretty close. And then the thing is also, and if you're going in there and you're not drinking,
right,
they literally pay no attention to you.
Oh, it's like that.
It's like, Charlie's does the same thing.
Sell. Yeah, wine. Yeah.
If you're not drinking a bottle of wine,
right,
or knocking down some old fashions, they don't really give a shit about you.
Makes sense.
They don't care about you.
Yep, makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Makes total sense. Coming up next, M. Bird, 1903 North Market Street. M. Bird. M is in Mary, and Bird is in Bluebird. Never
Market
heard of
Street.
them, but
that is in Armature Works, though.
It is.
Yeah.
I think this entire list is
pretty close to Armature.
Within Armature Works.
Well, there's 4 or 5 of them for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Next on the list is going to be Oak and Ola. We've spoken about them once before on this show. Apparently, they've got some amazing reviews. I've never eaten there, but I've heard nothing but great things about this place.
They actually didn't reach too far, and the items that they do have, they execute amazingly.
Yeah.
So, Eulalie,
right?
Take a page out of the their book.
So Eulalie, look at Oak and Ola and try to figure it out. There you go, folks. That's the top 10 Tampa Riverwalk restaurants with a view for romance. So if you're looking for a great place to take your lady or your man and you want to hang out, maybe an anniversary, maybe a birthday, or hell, maybe you just want to get away for a little while and just get away from the day-to-day mundane routine, go to Riverwalk, try one of these restaurants, unless you're thinking about trying Eulalie, because you might be pleasantly unsurprised and you might not like what they have to offer, according to Mike, who is an expert.
Also, side note, best birthday present ever.
I love birthday presents.
Birthday present. You want to get your wife a birthday present?
Should we talk about it on the air? Because she's going to find out.
Oh, well,
that's okay.
That's okay.
That's
Who cares?
Fine. What is it?
So you go and you get a stone engraved on the Riverwalk.
I've seen that, yeah.
So every time you walk down there, you go to your stone.
Yeah, they've got that down in Ybor as well. I've seen that. I've seen the stones that are engraved right there in Ybor.
They do the bricks and stuff like that.
What is it called in Ybor? It used to be called Central Ybor. I don't know if it's still called that.
I think so.
That fancy part of Ybor.
Yeah. So get one of those engraved. It's really like
nice.
It's like $100, man.
It's worth every penny.
It's worth every penny.
Worth
it's
every
awesome.
penny.
And it's there forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go. So you got a nice place to go eat. You've got a nice present for a birthday or an anniversary. You can engrave it, put it in stone, and it'll be there until the end of time.
After you walk off your dinner, you can walk right to your stone.
Very good.
Super romantic. And then,
I love
go
it.
home.
I love everything about it.
Do whatever you do.
I love everything about it. Just don't go to Eulalie because we hate you.
Yeah, I mean, we hate.
And let's go and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some numbers. We're going to talk about some finances. I want to talk about minimum wage. It's a topic that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and it upsets me more and more every day I hear about it. You're listening to the Knife Fork Radio Show. We'll see you in about 90 seconds or so.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Rays and Twins squared off in Game 3 of 4 at Tropicana Field on Wednesday night. It was a 0-0 game until the 4th, when the Rays came up with several runs, including 2 from Taylor Walls.
Early career as a ball lined in the center as a base hit for Taylor Walls. This will score 2 more. Scoring on the play is Caballero and Rortbet, and it's a 6-run inning, a 2-run single for Walls, and it's 6-0 Tampa Bay.
But Tampa Bay wasn't done. The next batter was Yandy Diaz.
Yandy Diaz swings and drives one deep to center. Castro back to the wall. Gone! 8-run frame. 8-0 Tampa Bay on the 4th.
The Rays would go on to a 9-4 win. They'll go for the series victory on Thursday afternoon. First pitch at 1:10. Right with your Rays report, I'm Chris Adams-Wall.
Catch the Rays all season on the Rays Radio Network. For tickets, visit RaysBaseball.com.
Calling all radio enthusiasts with storm claims and legal questions. Join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340 for Legal Candy with attorney Candace Colucci. She's your guide to hurricane-related issues, property insurance law, and more sizzling legal topics. Get ready for a lively legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet with Legal Candy on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:25. You're listening to the Knife and Fork Radio Show. we've got a very interesting topic here. And I'll tell you what, man, you know, I don't own a restaurant. I don't own a business right now. Hopefully.
Nor do I.
Yeah, hopefully I never do again. But there's something in my blood for some reason that makes me want to do it, even though I can't stand anything about it. There's something in my blood, man. I just have to do it. I don't know why, but I have no desire or interest at this moment in my life to open a business or run it or do anything with it. I'm very happy right now doing what I'm doing, working for a guaranteed paycheck on a weekly basis, not having to worry about where the money's coming from, which is very nice. But nonetheless, there's something that's in my blood, man, that just, I'm just like a serial entrepreneur when it comes to stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I know that it's the wrong decision to make, but for some reason I can't do it. But nonetheless,
the dream of independent wealth.
Yeah.
It'll get you every time.
I know, man. Keep dreaming, I guess, right? But yeah, so here's one of the main reasons that forces me to not ever want to open another business again with any sort of employees. Florida's minimum wage in 2024. I'm highly opposed to this. And listen, we've spoken about this on the show before, and I get it. You know, I mean, you need a livable wage in order to sustain your life and make sure that your bills are paid, make sure you can put gas in the car to go to work, and make sure you can put food on the table for your family. But you know, what people don't understand is when the minimum wage increases, so does everything else across the board. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a time and there's going to be a place where you have to increase your prices in order to sustain the higher wages that you're forced to pay your workers.
Right.
So it's a revolving door. There is no benefit for anyone across the board except for the minimum wage worker. But at the end of the day, the minimum wage worker is going to be forced to pay higher prices. And it just kind of it negates the fact that it's even done. So right now, minimum wage in Florida is $12 an hour. All right. At the end of this month, the end of September, it goes to $13 an hour, then 14 the year after, then 15 the year after that. The minimum wage federally across the board, and I don't agree with this number either. It should be much higher, but the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. All right. That number should be higher. I agree with that. And the minimum wage for tipped employees, federally speaking, is $2.13 an hour.
Oh, wow.
We in Florida, we have elected to raise that in order to accommodate the living costs across the board. But as a small business owner, as an independent that doesn't have corporate backing, $13 an hour for a worker that's going to stand there and do the same job as a skilled worker for $13 an hour just doesn't make any sense to me. $9.98 an hour is what it's going up to for tipped workers. So they make almost $10 an hour plus the tips that they take in on a daily basis. And Mike, you and I were talking about this on the break a little bit. You know, the tipped workers in the restaurant industry are usually your hostesses, your busing staff who break their asses daily.
Right,
the bussers work hard. The hostesses don't necessarily have the physical aspect of the work, but they're the first face that you see when you walk in the building. They're the people that are going to be the initial representation of what the business has to offer. They have to be on point at all times. They have to manage the dining room, basically make sure the tables are full so the restaurant is profitable, make sure the customers aren't waiting an excessive amount of time for their tables. So they're dealing with a mathematical equation in their heads that make them go and deliver this quality of service before they get to the table. Once they get to the table, and I'm not knocking servers at all. Without servers, you can't have a full restaurant industry, or you can't have a restaurant in operation that's a full service restaurant. But I will tell you one thing, and Mike and you and I were talking about this, the servers in the restaurant business are basically the same clowns in a different circus.
They are the laziest humans on the planet.
You know, the thing about it, you get your standout servers that are there, that are professionals, that make the money, and you can count on them to pick up shifts. You can count on them to come in early, stay late. Those are a handful of people within the restaurant setting.
25%.
Yeah, I was going to say 70% of the restaurant. Yeah. Is filled with servers that just walk in the door. They want to do the least amount of work possible, make the most amount of money, and get out of there and go and do whatever it is they do when they get out of the restaurant. Drink it all away, whatever. And they're usually young, they're kids, so I get it. They're in that party stage. But usually the servers want to go into the restaurant. They never. They're scheduled at 5:00. They walk in at 5:01, 5:02. the restaurant's slow. They nag you. They're up your ass. They're up the manager's ass about, can I leave early? There's nothing going on. Can you cut this person? Can you cut this person? You have to beg them to fill the ice bin. You have to beg them to do their running side work. Make sure the silverware is polished. I'll tell you what, man. In one of the restaurants that I worked in, I used to have servers. You'd cut them at whatever, as business dictates. And I would find bins of silverware the next day, and the servers would literally hide the silverware so they didn't have to roll it at the end of the night.
And you couldn't see it and catch them.
So they would take the bins of silverware and they would stash it in corners and cover it up with towels and linens so that so they didn't have to do it. So that way, when they go and say, okay, I'm all done, you look, the silverware bin is empty that they had in front of them. All right, you sign them out, they're done. The next day, you find an entire bin of silverware covered up. This is the lifestyle. This is what these folks want to do. And I'm being forced as a restaurant owner / operator to pay these people $10 an hour to do this. It is just, it is mind-boggling.
Not to mention you have to buy more silverware because you think it's all gone.
You think it's gone. Yeah, it's like, how did I run out of soup spoons? I just had 10,000. 6 cases of 6 soup spoons 2 weeks ago. I don't understand it.
They're hiding under the prep table.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm not bashing, every server in the restaurant industry. I mean, there are professionals out there that want to get the job done, that do the right thing. And you have to find those people. They're needles in the haystack, unfortunately, and you have to find them and you have to embrace them. And you have to take care of them to a level that you wouldn't take care of the other people, because the other people are just literally there just to get the job done, make the most amount of money possible, get out of there as quickly as possible, not put in the effort. It's amazing. Same clowns, different circus. So that's it, man. That's what I got to say about that. So that's my little bit of a rant about minimum wage. Yeah.
Servers, you suck.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Moving on. So, talking about making money, this is not a restaurant-related topic, but it could be because Uber drivers take Uber Eats. There was an article that I found very interesting. So this guy, he decided to go and take a job with Uber just to see how much money an Uber driver can actually make on a regular basis. And so for all of you that are listening out there and you're thinking about maybe picking up a side gig, doing an Uber, I wouldn't suggest don't do it, because extra income is certainly a necessary evil in this economy that we're in right now. But think twice maybe before you get into thinking about Uber, because you don't make as much money as you think you're going to make. So this guy made $143 in 3 shifts. So over the course of 3 10-hour shifts, 30 hours, he made $143.73.
Wow.
He put 305 miles on his car, and he spent $38.80 on a tank of gas to go back and forth and transport these people. Subtract the gas cost of $143, his earnings were $104.93 for the entire time that he did this shift. Again, we just talked about minimum wage. He's well under minimum wage. Doesn't make any sense. So you can probably do Uber Eats, maybe make a little bit more. But if you're shuttling people around back and forth, unless you live in a huge metropolis area and, you're just already hit those banging days where it's like New Year's Eve, whatever, like big celebratory days are where people are out drinking, whatever. Yeah, you're going to make money on those days, but then you got to run the risk of somebody puking in the backseat of your car.
Yeah.
Some drunk fool puking in the back of your car.
So what about Uber Eats? So now think about it like this. So they made $10.49 an hour.
$10.49 an hour.
So
that's what it worked out to
do
be.
They get $10.99?
Yeah, the Uber driver does in fact get a $10.99 at the end of the year from Uber, and you do have to report those, and you have to pay your taxes on that earning.
Okay, so that $10.49 an hour is not subject to the minimum wage requirement.
Correct. Because they're gig workers.
They're gig workers, and there's no $3.02 tip credit from the government.
They're subcontractors.
Mm.
Uber figured it out, man. And I got to tell you, I use Uber. You know what I mean? If we go out to dinner and, we're going to have a glass of wine at dinner or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we know that it's not worth it to run the risk to drive home, which 9 times out of 10 times out of 10, we do that. If we know we're going to have a glass or two of wine, we'll take an Uber to the restaurant to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in danger or anyone else. So, yeah, the Uber drivers absolutely have to pay taxes on that money at the end of the year. They have to report all those earnings. $10.99.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can write off all the gas.
It's extra money, which is nice. You know what I mean? It's always good. It can rack up. You can make money, pay a few bills at the end of the month.
If you want to make $100 in 30 hours, then go for it.
Yeah.
Or you can just go work at McDonald's for 30 hours and make X amount of dollars.
$750.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just flipping burgers. Mike, I got to tell you, man, I've had a couple of surgeries in my life. I got a pacemaker. I was under the knife a year and a half ago. Doctors cut my chest wide open, put in a pacemaker. I've had some emergency surgeries where I had to go and get some things done. We're not going to get into the reasons why on the air because that's one of those things. But so one of those things, I had to go and get some emergency surgery. One of these, these days, not so probably about 10 years ago. But this story is amazing to me, and I couldn't imagine going in for a surgery and having this done. So this guy was having an issue with his spleen. All right. So he goes to the doctor. Doctor says, all right, you have to get your spleen removed because it's infected, blah, blah, blah. I don't think the spleen is a big...
the spleen and the gallbladder, I think,
they're kind of giveaways, right? They're throwaways.
You can live without them.
You can live without them. Yeah, they're disposable for the most part. If you have disposable organs, the spleen and the gallbladder would be...
Those are the two.
And what's the other one? That little thing that people... Appendix. You can take the appendix out.
Or tonsils. There's a couple.
But there's one that you really can't live without, all right? And we'll get into that as we get a little bit farther into this story, okay? So this guy had some sort of an infection in his spleen. He goes to the doctor. Doctor said, hey, you got to get this thing cut out, man, because it's infected. It's going to cause some problems down the line. The infection may go away. We might be able to treat it, but it's just in your best interest just to put you under the knife. Let's just cut this damn thing out of you and call it a day. That way you can live a good quality of life moving forward. You don't have anything to worry about further. This guy says to the doctor, well, that sounds like a great idea, doc. When would you like to schedule the surgery? Well, let's go ahead and schedule the surgery. Let's get you on there. Let's get it done. 70 years old. His name is William Bryan.
He was 70.
Oh, 70.
Yeah,
I'm speaking quickly, so I apologize. 70 years old. So this doctor, Dr. Thomas Shaknovsky.
From Alabama.
Oh, yeah, from Alabama, yeah.
Oh, this is all coming together now.
He persuaded his wife to have the procedure done in Florida instead of Alabama, which would be their home state. So he calls them and says, let's go. I've got this hospital in Florida that I want to do this surgery on. The name of the surgery is called splenectomy. Splenectomy, I guess. I don't know. Splenectomy. Is that how you say that word? Yeah. Okay. So he says, all right, let's get it scheduled, man. It's going to be in and out. I'll go in today. I'll get out tomorrow. Figure it out. We'll get it done. No big deal. Doctor says, great. I'll see you at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. 8 a.m. Tuesday shows up. He went through his pre-op. He got everything done. Doctor says, all right, we're going to put you down for a little bit. You're going to come out. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. He says, all right, sounds good.
Let's do it.
What does the doctor do?
Pulls out his liver.
He mistakes his spleen for his liver.
I knew it.
He mistakes his spleen for his liver. Do you know how big the liver is?
It's
the liver
large.
Is massive. It's the largest organ in your body.
Really?
It is massive. It goes the entire length of your abdomen, left to right.
Oh, really?
That's how I did not know that, but if you look up the organs in the body, the liver is the largest organ that you have.
Encased inside of your body.
Absolutely.
Minus the skin.
Imagine from left to right in your abdomen, that's the length and size of your liver. This guy mistook the liver for the spleen and took out the liver by accident. How do you make that mistake?
Well, that's certain death, right?
The guy died immediately. He bled out.
Oh, geez.
I'm not a doctor.
No, nor am I.
But I remember as a child, learning about different shapes, sizes. You can't put the square into the round hole. You can't put the round into the square hole. Let's just cut the guy open and try to remove the liver instead of the spleen. How does that add up? How do you make that mistake? You know what I mean?
I don't know how that happens.
In medical school, they have to talk about that. So apparently this guy, he suffered catastrophic blood loss that resulted in Brian's death. Immediate catastrophic blood loss. So this doctor took out his liver on the operating table.
Do you think he tried to put it back in?
I don't know if you can put it back in. I mean, once the damage is done, can you replace it? I don't know. Because I think
I got the wrong one. Can I put it back in?
You can remove pieces of the liver, from what I understand, like alcoholics that have cirrhosis and whatnot can have pieces of. That's why
the liver, lasered off. Right?
Yeah, that's why it regenerates, because it's so big, and you can actually remove good sized chunks of it, and it can still function.
Right.
But
you have to have
you can't remove the whole goddamn thing.
No, you have to have the nucleus of it.
Something's got to be there. So next time the doctor says, I want to take your spleen out, think twice about getting that surgery. Maybe just live with the discomfort and call it a day, right?
Maybe just Google picture of spleen and show it to him. Be like, hey, man, this is what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, here you go.
Here you go.
It's located up in this quadrant.
It's right here. Look,
it's not down here.
I drew an X for you. It's right here.
It's right here. Yeah,
it's right here.
I only want you to cut in that X. X marks the spot. I don't know, man. That's just nuts. I couldn't even imagine that. It's amazing to me that mistake could be made by a licensed medical doctor.
Even after you get sued for malpractice, your malpractice insurance goes up.
Of course.
I don't think you could.
You can't recover from
something.
You can't recover from that.
You just might well find another profession.
Yeah. You couldn't even be a podiatrist at that point working on people's feet. You know what I mean? Like there's no way.
No, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Sad news, though. I don't know. I'm just going to touch on it really quickly because we're going to have to. Breaking news from yesterday. This 14-year-old kid went and shut up a school yesterday, man. What is going on, man? What is really happening out there where these kids are just shooting schools up, man?
And 14-year-old guns are too easily accessible.
Yeah.
How does a 14-year-old get a gun? First of all,
that's the burning question, man. 14 years old, killed 4 people, wounded 9 others.
You take it from your parents? I mean, it
had to have been.
Yeah, I guess you get one on the street.
The street, the kid's 14, man.
That's, you know what I mean? But you'd be surprised what happens on the street at 14. I mean, depends on what neighborhood he lives in and where he came from.
You don't want to think about it. You don't want to admit it, but it does go on. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Of course it happens. I'm from New Orleans, and you could get a gun at 9.
Anything. Anything goes.
If you got the money.
Yeah, anything goes. But, it kind of goes back to like the old, like my old saying, like, it's just, I blame the internet for all this stuff, nowadays. And yes, we live in the information age. We hear about things more often than we did before the internet was available and predominant. So news articles like this would kind of get swept under the rug. If you live locally and you saw it, it's, of course, it would be nationwide.
It would be nationwide.
So we do live in a more informative day and age now where this information is more readily available. So, I mean, I guess you can say that would be part of the reason why these stories keep popping up. But
what about parenting?
What about
parenting?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I have a 12-year-old and she doesn't want anything to do with guns.
No, as she shouldn't.
She shouldn't. She's not interested.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this for too much today because it's just one of those things that's really sad. And
did they kill him?
No, apparently he turned himself in, man. The cops, when they got there, he threw his hands up and he turned himself in from what this article says. So he's still alive, and hopefully they can figure out what happened with this and why it happened.
Well, I would just shot him in the face.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I don't care if he's 14 or not.
Yeah, he deserves it. I get it. I know. But moving on to a little bit more fun stuff in the news.
No, all right. I was looking at some of this.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. Did you watch it? I was busy.
I didn't watch it live, but I did watch it. Yeah. And I got to tell you, man, if you're a Joey Chestnut fan.
Did he win?
Oh, my God.
Did he crush Kobayashi?
He crushed Kobayashi. And you know what else he crushed?
The record?
The world record. Prior to Monday's performance, the world record for hot dog eating, which was held by Joey Chestnut, the true American patriot.
Well,
an athlete. That he is.
Olympic athlete. Should be an Olympic athlete.
The record was 76 hot dogs previously. And that was achieved, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 4th of Julys ago for the Nathan's hot dog competition.
Well, my question is, has he ever taken on Kobayashi?
Apparently, from what I understand, 15 years ago in Kobayashi's last performance in the Nathan's annual 4th of July hot dog eating competition, the two of them went head to head with a group of other competitive eaters at the same time. But he crushed Kobayashi then. And then there were some contract disputes leading into the next year, and Kobayashi was not allowed to compete in Nathan's any longer. That's why Kobayashi has gone away over the course of the last 12, 13, 14 years because of contract disputes. So Joey Chestnut now has some contract disputes as well. And he's no longer allowed to compete in the Nathan's hot dog competition either. So what did Netflix say? They said, well, if Netflix is smart, man. They said if Nathan's is not going to have Joey Chestnut on there, then we're going to host it. We're going to do a live event. And they did it on Labor Day, which was this past Monday. 2 of them only. Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut. Side by side.
Oh, man.
With a plexiglass partition for splashing between the 2 of them.
Oh, well, you got to have that.
Joey Chestnut, 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Let's just think about that for a second. Let's digest that. See what I did there?
I mean, I ate 1 hot dog the other day and I was full.
83 in 10 minutes, Mike.
That's with bun.
With bun.
With bun.
And the crazy thing is during the Nathan's hot dog competition, what they do in order to make it easier is they take, and it's disgusting to watch, but it's like watching a decapitation. You can't look away. You have to watch it.
Don't they dunk in a glass of water?
They dunk in a glass of water. So in this competition, they said no dunking. So they had to eat these hot dogs dry and chase it with water.
What a salivator.
83 hot dogs.
He's a salivation champion.
Dude, it was absolutely mind-blowing watching these two guys go head-to-head. And Kobayashi was no slouch either. I think he ate like 66 or 67. 67 hot dogs in 10 minutes is a lot of hot dogs. I mean, but you know what it's not? It's not 83.
He is the grand masticator.
Absolutely. 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. It was incredible.
That is incredible.
It was absolutely incredible. And it was a disgusting display of just gluttony, and I couldn't take my eyes off the television for the entire time.
Oh, you can't.
The good thing is I watched it later, so I didn't have to watch all the crap that they, all the leading up to
and commercials and all that.
The ending part, like the last 15 minutes, if you guys want to watch a replay, please do. Netflix, fast forward the last 15 minutes. That's all you need to see. And Rob Riggle was the host.
Oh, Rob Riggle. I love Rob Riggle.
Yeah. I love Rob Riggle, man. That guy's hilarious. He was the host,
He should play Madden in the new Madden movie.
Oh, my God. He would be awesome at that.
He'd be awesome at that.
Yeah, he would be awesome. Yeah, he was great in Step Brothers, man. His character.
Oh, yeah.
He was so funny, man. He's like, I don't know why, but I just want to punch you in the face right now. I just want to punch you right in the face. He's like, and then Will Ferrell's like, is it something that I can change about my face? No, I just want to punch you right in the face.
You have a punchable face.
Oh, my God. Hilarious. So, yeah, there you go. 83 hot dogs, 10 minutes. Moving on. A Florida cop went to go and take a leak in a racetrack gas station. Took his belt off. Maybe he took an S. I don't know. But maybe he sat down. Took his belt off. Took off his bulletproof vest. Got a call as he was getting ready to exit the bathroom. Put his vest back on and left his gun in the bathroom.
Oh, that's a no-no.
Left his gun in the bathroom. So these two characters right here, their names are, it's in here somewhere. All right, Chance Byron, 26 years old, and Damari Dennis, 23 years old. They saw the cop leaving the bathroom. I don't know if it was pre-planned. Obviously, it wasn't because they had no idea that he was going there. So they went into the bathroom.
Right.
They said, well, this guy's Sig Sauer P320 pistol sitting on the toilet paper dispenser. I'm going to take it. So these two guys took the gun. What did they do with it? They sold it.
They sold it
for $40.
$40. That's probably where the kid got it from.
The Sig is worth $600. That was his sidearm. They sold it for $40.
$40. They couldn't even get $400 out of it?
They couldn't even get $400. They said that Byron claimed they found the weapon sticking out of a toilet paper roll. So they looked at the bathroom. They saw the gun sticking out, so they decided to take it. Apparently, then the police officer goes back, realized that he left his sidearm in the bathroom. The gun was gone. So they looked up surveillance and said, well, these two guys went into the bathroom immediately after the cop came out of the bathroom. They pressed charges against these two for stealing the man's pistol.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
I don't know how I feel about this article. You know what I mean? Yes, they're probably not the most savory characters in the world.
Well, obviously not.
And they shouldn't be taking something that isn't theirs.
But what if they didn't know it was the cops?
But should these two folks be charged with a felony?
No.
Now, maybe they were felons previously and they're not allowed to have the firearm in their possession. That could lead into a reason why.
Well, absolutely.
But Byron, meanwhile, faces charges of grand theft of a firearm, failure to report a lost or abandoned property, and dealing with stolen property. So they're charging these two guys with a felony right now for taking this cop's gun.
Stealing is different than finding.
That's why I'm torn. And I'm not condoning, any of this.
No,
but I mean, I don't think that in the court of law, I don't think the state has a case against these guys. But again, I'm no lawyer, I'm no judge, and I can only base it upon what I think I know about the laws. But if they found it, how can they be charged with theft?
Depending on the public defender.
Yeah. How can they be charged with theft?
Well, maybe they did see him go into the restroom and saw him come out and they were waiting in line. Then that's maybe a possible different story.
Yeah, but at that point, Did they know that he was going to leave his gun in there?
And did they know that it was his?
Right.
Maybe the guy before him left it in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
How do they know?
It could, and maybe he didn't even use that stall.
Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe he just went in there to wash his hands. These two guys don't. And again, I am not condoning any of this.
Yeah, we don't have a kid
but
for
I don't think that the state has a case against these two guys. I don't know, Ed. What do you think about that, man? Do you think are you hearing what we're talking about? Do you think the state has any type of a case against these two guys that found that cop's gun in that bathroom? I don't know. It's hard to say, right? It's tough. But I don't know. So,
clearly there's fault on the cop.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's of course
it wasn't intentional.
Exactly, and it was it's a weapon, it's a firearm, but it was left
negligence
behind.
by an officer.
And these two guys walked up and saw it and says, "Well, somebody left it behind." And, it's like if somebody left their Snickers bar that they just purchased at Racetrack on the toilet paper dispenser, and I said, free Snickers bar. Am I going to get charged with a felony for that? Yeah, it's not a firearm.
But there's a difference between a Snickers bar and a gun.
No, I know. It's not
like if you find a bag of cash,
right,
you're supposed to turn it in.
You're supposed to. Yeah. But if you don't, is it a felony? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how the laws work. It just doesn't seem right to me. I don't know.
What about Cocaine Shark? If you find a bale of cocaine, are you required to turn it in?
You find a car on the side of the road, it's been there by itself for a couple of days. You jump in and start driving it. Can't do that.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
But they weren't shooting it.
They're in possession of it.
That's a really good analogy.
Just like if you get a tow truck, you tow that car to your house and put it in your front yard, you're going to be charged with theft.
Yeah, that does put it in perspective. That's a really good analogy. I appreciate that because that's where the gray area, I suppose, in my mind, wasn't adding up because, yes, it is a registered weapon and the car would be registered at the same time. So, yeah, I guess it does. I guess the state would have a case against these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is registered.
And I appreciate your insight, man. Thank you so much because it just didn't add up. It didn't make sense to me. But, yeah, I appreciate that.
It does make sense to file off the serial number, though, and then get at least more than $40 on Cash App.
$40 on Cash App. I mean, at least get 100, right?
At least get cash.
Good Lord.
At least get cash, so that way they can't trace it.
Yeah, what's wrong with these two guys? Yeah, who knows?
Oh, man. Tell me $40 cash you can't get? Come on.
Said, oh, my God, $9.52. And let's get a little bit of Board said when we come back from the break. I didn't realize how lady was getting. This show is just flying by today.
Oh,
we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to discuss this off the air about this firearm that was found. No, we're not, because we're going to move on. I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah,
we'll listen to the Knife Fork Radio Show right here on the one and only Tan Talk Radio Network. We'll see you in 90 seconds.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you a writer, inventor? Do you have questions about your intellectual property rights? Well, tune in every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 o'clock for Joy on Paper. Once a month, I will have a special guest, the writer's legal eagle, Bill Larson of Larson & Larson, who can answer your questions. Protect your valuable work. Email me your questions to patsy.radio@gmail.com and then listen in every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network. That's patsy.radio@gmail.com.
Listen to the latest pet trends with benefits on the Pet Buzz every Saturday morning. Join pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and veterinarian Dr. Michael Fleck as they talk all things pets. From animal health and wellness, money-saving tips, celebrity gossip, breaking news, and more. Their expert guests are in the know and in the now. To learn more about this unique program and its hosts, tune into the show on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Pet Buzz, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m.
Caregivers find the support they need on Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. Heard every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Linda and her caring and knowledgeable guests will bring you education, information, and resources, as well as a shoulder for caregivers. That's Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver, where you can find help and hope every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Ain't it good?
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:54 right here on the Knife and Fork Radio Show on the one and only Tan Talk Radio Network. You are listening to Mike and Eric on the airwaves, as you do every Thursday from 9 o'clock until 10. Boar's Head is back in the news again, man. Boar's Head. And this doesn't really apply to like Boar's Head as far as their facility and what they've done in order to cause this listeria outbreak. But apparently New York delis and restaurants across the board that serve Boar's Head are seeing a 30% plunge in sales because of this.
Makes sense.
30%, man. People are scared, man.
I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I don't want to die over a cold cut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, piece of bologna or a piece of salami.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with a cash out gun.
Yeah, hopefully Boar's Head. I'm confident they're going to bounce back after this because they're big. But that's the latest news on Boar's Head right now, and they only bring it up because we've been tracking this story for the last few weeks since it broke. So I just want to give everybody a quick update. So yeah, Boar's Head.
I went to Publix last week to get some meat.
Yeah,
and I saw the Boar's Head. And it was still like it's always higher price than Publix.
Always, yeah. Boar's Head gets a premium.
If Publix turkey breast is $9.99,
yeah,
Boar's Head is $13.99.
Of course, yep.
But it was still the same price. I would have thought
they would have
dropped.
Yeah,
but then I was sitting there looking at it. And I'm thinking, if they drop the price, people may think they're trying to get rid of the old stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Get the listeria product out of the building quick. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Sell the tainted stuff at a discounted price.
And I got to tell you, man, like with Boar's Head and Publix, the Publix, I don't know who produces the meat for Publix, but in my opinion, it's just as good as the Boar's Head. But again, I'm not a connoisseur of cold cuts either. So, I mean, like you give me a piece of Genoa salami from Boar's Head, you give me a Genoa salami from Publix.
I think it's the name.
It might have a different flavor, but it's still going to taste good.
I don't think you can tell the difference. Especially if you put it in a salad, how are you going to tell the difference? Come on, you put dressing all over it.
You can't tell the difference. Yeah, but I'll tell you, there's Boar's Head fanatics.
My ex used to like, make sure it's Boar's Head.
Yeah, man.
You know what? One time I didn't get Boar's Head. Never told her.
And she loved it.
Never told her.
Yep.
Just get the stick. Hey, can I get that Boar's Head sticker?
Yeah, there's Boar's Head fanatics. When I had my place going, the deli, Goodfellas Deli, the first one that I opened, I had Dietz and Watson was my deli, and I'd have people walk in there and say, "Oh, you don't have Boar's Head?" I'm like, "No, I've got Dietz and Watson." They would turn around and walk right out.
Really?
Yeah, they're that fanatical about Boar's Head. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so all those customers that turned around and walked out, hopefully you have listeria and you're dying. I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, hopefully you're not dying, but hopefully you have listeria. Oh, man, there's a really popular restaurant up in Palm Harbor in my neck of the woods. 40 years it's been there, man, called Tiffany's Diner. Ooh. It has been right there in the plaza on the corner of Alderman and US 19 for 40 years. These folks, they came over from Albania. They opened this restaurant 40 years ago. It continued to expand. They celebrated their last day in business. The owners are retiring. So hats off to you, Tiffany's, for doing a really good job and taking care of the community for the course of the last 40 years. I know that you've achieved nothing but great success, because every time I pull into that plaza, the parking lot is packed. It is jam-packed, and you guys have done a really good job with that. So I've never eaten at your restaurant, but I just want to give you a quick hats off and say good job for doing the last 40 years in the area, and hopefully you enjoy your retirement and you have a great time just living out the rest of your years and relaxing and not thinking about the restaurant industry anymore, which is what I strive to do one of these days.
Go to the doctor and get some medicine.
Mike, you got anything? We got a couple minutes to go before we got to end the show. How's everything going over at Coastal Produce and Tommy over there?
Oh, everything's going great, man. Just keep grinding, man. Keep grinding. I've been working on a couple of accounts.
Good. Good.
40 Thieves is a new restaurant up in Land O'Lakes area.
Very nice.
It's located next to a Publix.
Excellent.
Irish pub. It's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
Food's good. That and Caliente, which is the naked capital of the world.
That means hot in Espanol for those of you that don't know that.
That means hot.
All right, very cool. You're gonna get your produce over at Caliente as well?
I'm gonna get my produce over at Caliente today. I'm gonna hand deliver it, and hopefully I see some nakedness.
Don't sell many eggplants, man, because they might mistake what those are.
Well, I'll give them a couple. We'll give them a couple cucumbers and see what happens.
You've been listening to the Knife Fork Radio Show. It's been another great week with your hosts, Mike and Eric. 9:59 right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. We do have to sign off for the week. Hopefully, you guys have a great week until we speak to you next time. Stay tuned for the Voice of Reason coming up next, right after 10.